afternoon, Dadeville Elementary. I'm here today on Decade Day, which I'm so excited about because even in Decade Day we can talk about math because one decade is 10 years. So I'm dressed up as someone from the 80s. So if I'm counting by tens, that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So a decade is 10 years, and that means that we can count by 10. So excited to connect math with our homecoming days this week. So today I'm talking to you about Math Practice Standard 2 and Math Practice 3. Math Practice 2 is we will reason abstractly and quantitatively. And so what that means is that if I'm trying to do some math work, I'm going to try to picture in my mind what the question is asking me and what the problem is saying, and then connect that with the numbers. And so now we're going to watch a video that kind of shows how students are reasoning abstractly and quantitatively by creating a picture in their mind and then using the numbers to solve the problem.
Math Practice 2. Reason abstractly and quantitatively. MP2 means I know how to think about words and numbers to solve problems. To use MP2, answer one or more of these questions. How are the numbers related? What do the numbers and symbols in the problem mean? How can I show a word problem using a diagram, numbers, and symbols? Use MP2 to solve a problem. Reason. There are 5 parrots in a tree. 2 parrots fly away. How can we use the minus sign to show what happened? What do the numbers and symbols in the problem mean? The number 5 in the problem is the total number of parrots. The number 2 is the number of parrots that fly away. The problem has a name for a symbol, minus sign. The problem asks if we can use the minus sign to show what happened. 2 parrots fly away from the 5 parrots. That shows subtraction, so we can use a minus sign. The whole in the problem is 5. Then we can use the minus sign and 2 to show the parrots flying away. We can write what happened with these numbers and symbols. 5 minus 2. Connect the math practices. We thought about how numbers and symbols could show what happened with the parrots. So we used MP2. We used this thinking to make an argument that we could show the situation with a minus sign. Using math to make arguments is part of MP3.
Okay, so we just saw how students connected what the problem was asking and had formed a picture in their mind and then used the numbers to solve that problem for Math Practice Standard 2. So now we're going to look at Math Practice 3, which is we will construct viable arguments and critique the reasoning of others. And so what that means, it doesn't mean, hey, I'm going to argue with my friend and tell them that they're wrong on their problem. It means I'm going to listen to what they're saying, and I'm really going to think about what their explanation is, and then I'm going to present my own thinking. We're going to ask questions. We're going to look at how each other solved the problem, and then go back and think about some conclusions that we can make. And if I need to adjust my answer, or if my friend needs to adjust their answer, then they can do that as well. So it's really important in math that we're having good math conversation and talking with our friends about the answers that we have and thinking about why those answers are correct or why they correctly solve the problem. And so we're going to watch a video about Math Practice 3.
Math Practice 3. Construct viable arguments and critique the reasoning of others. Students who excel can use math to explain why they are right. They can talk about the math that others do too. To use MP3, answer one or more of these questions. How can I use math to explain why my work is right? How can I use math to explain why other people's work is right or wrong? What questions can I ask to understand other people's thinking? Use MP3 to solve a problem. Critique reasoning. When you see the words critique reasoning, think about how you can use math to defend your work or to judge the work of others. Miranda says that 30 times 26 is greater than 20 times 36. Is she correct? How do you know? Ask yourself, how can I use math to explain why other people's work is right or wrong? One way could be, I can use the distributive property to break apart factors. 30 times 26 equals 30 times 20 plus 30 times 6. 20 times 36 equals 20 times 30 plus 20 times 6. 30 times 20 equals 20 times 30, and 30 times 6 is greater than 20 times 6. So 30 times 26 is greater than 20 times 36. Miranda is correct. You might think to yourself, what questions can I ask other people to understand their thinking? You might tell yourself, I could ask Miranda to show her work to see how she solved the problem. By seeing her work, I may be able to agree or disagree with her more quickly. Connect the math practices. We used MP3 to critique Miranda's statement. We also reasoned about the numbers or factors in the problem to break them apart. Reasoning about numbers is part of MP2. By breaking the problem into simpler parts, we also used MP7.
Okay, students, so today we have looked at Math Practice Standards 2 and 3, and we have looked at how we're going to reason abstractly and quantitatively, and we just watched the video that talks about how we're going to have good math arguments and have good math conversation with our friends, and we're going to compare our strategies and think about how we solve the problems. So I hope in your math classes you're having good math conversation and you are talking about these kinds of things with your friends and having good math conversation. And so as we end the broadcast today, just always remember, tigers travel to the top.